Hello everyone, I am Snehal Joshi and today I am here to deliver very useful information about a very emerging field, that is exploring the world of biotechnology. At an outset, let me thank all of you for joining such a wonderful session. So let's begin. Let us introduce with the subject, that is biotechnology. Biotechnology is one of the very important branch of biology. Everyone knows biology as a basic subject of science. Subject biology is divided into two types: fundamental biology and applied biology. Fundamental biology concerned with studying all the basic principles, reactions, organisms, systems, structures of a biology subject. It includes so many subjects like physiology, genetics, parasitology, embryology, and so on. But applied biology is concerned with studying all these scientific principles, reactions, organisms, structures to increase our economy, to ultimately nation's economy, for betterment of the mankind, for improvement of the environment. Biotechnology is one of the very important applied branch of biology. It includes so many branches like microbiology, biochemistry, apiculture, medicine, fishery, etc. etc. Let us understand the definition of biotechnology. Biotechnology is the area of biology that uses biological processes, biological organisms, or systems to manufacture useful products or technology intended to improve the quality of human life. I would like to add more into that. Biotechnology is concerned with manipulation of our DNA or genetic material for better expressions. Humans have been using biotechnology from thousands of years for production of wine, curd, vinegar, etc. Alcohol was the first product of fermentation technology. Fermentation was discovered by the people by prolonged soaking of grain. In the 19th century, Louis Pasteur showed that beer and buttermilk are the source of the organism called yeast. People use biotechnology, but they didn't know that microorganisms are involved in that. Somewhere we were lacking in scientific approach, scientific knowledge. 101 children might be possible for Gandhari with the help of cloning technology, in which Vasa had fragmented the fertilized egg into 101 compartments. From each of those compartments, development of individual Kauravas took place. Anyway, we don't know, but we can correlate those things with cloning technology. What is cloning? Obtaining the multiple copies of a beneficial gene, desired gene. Genes are the blueprint of life. All our behavior, all our expressions are depends on the genetic sequences present on the surface of the DNA. Our complexion, our height, our behavior, our attitude, our intelligence quotient, our social quotient, our resistance of the body against certain diseases, or sensitivity of the body for that disease, all are determined by our gene. Useful genes we can take out. You can obtain the multiple copies of that desired gene, and we can make a source material for that gene in order to make the recombinant DNA for better expression in the organisms. The cloning technology is the soul of biotechnological processes. Let us move towards the various disciplines of biotechnology. First one, recombinant DNA technology, in which we can produce a hybrid DNA or recombinant DNA with the help of cloning technology. Plant agriculture, here we are going to produce the hybrid variety of plant or genetically modified varieties of plants. Nutritional biotechnology, in which we are improving the nutritional content qualitatively as well as quantitatively in the crop material. Healthcare or pharmaceuticals biotechnology is deals with production of vaccines or drugs with the help of enzyme produced by microorganisms. Animal breeding, we are going to produce a desirable variety of animals, GM varieties of animals for benefit of the society, benefit of human beings. Fermentation technology is one of the branch of industrial biotechnology. Crime investigation is possible with the help of biotechnological reactions. Cellular agriculture is the source of future food. Eco-friendly fuel we can generate with the help of fuel generation technology, which is concerned with biotechnology. Environmental safety, it deals with biotechnological processes. Bioinformatics is the holistic branch, which consists of combining together biology as well as information technology. Let us discuss one by one approaches of this technology. First is called recombinant DNA technology. It is also called genetic engineering. As I told you, cloning is the soul of biotechnological processes. In the same way, recombinant DNA technology is the heart of biotechnological processes. In this process, we can combine the DNA of two varieties together or two organisms together, and we can generate a recombinant DNA. It can change the chemistry of genetic material. The useful genes we can take from any sources. For example, you can take it from the cloning technology. We can replace it with the harmful gene. For example, as a human being, we are carrying the multiple genes sequences on our genome. Some genes are harmful, some genes are useful. We have to be with that harmful and useful genes also. What will happen if we remove the harmful genes and replace it with the useful one? Yes, that is possible with the help of this technology. That's why it is called recombinant DNA. We are making the DNA recombinant. We are making the DNA hybrid. With the help of this RDT, it is possible to introduce a desirable gene into the host organism. And with the help of that, you will get a better expression from that DNA. The organism in which we are incorporating the foreign gene, we are calling the organisms as genetically modified organism or transgenic organism. And the genes which we are inserting, that gene we are calling transgene. Let us elaborate this topic by taking a simple example. For the disease called diabetes mellitus, one hormone is responsible for that called insulin hormone. The person who is suffering from diabetes mellitus, he is unable to produce this hormone. Means the genes are not coding for synthesis of insulin hormone. So what we can do here, this is the source organism, maybe animal, maybe human. You can take this gene of interest means gene of insulin from that source material. At the same time, we can take one bacteria called Escherichia coli. This bacteria is blessed with a plasmid, which is extra chromosomal DNA. We can take out this DNA out of the cell, plasmid DNA. This plasmid DNA we can cleave, we can break out. On this broken plasmid, we can ligate this gene of interest into this. And here we can generate a recombinant plasmid or hybrid plasmid in which the gene of interest is incorporated. And now this recombinant plasmid we are just administrating into E. coli cell again. E. coli has a generation time 20 minutes. So after every 20 minutes, these plasmid will replicate. It can form a new copy, and at the end of every replication, you will get a new copy of your desired gene. In this way, you can obtain the multiple copies of your desired gene. We can store it into the gene bank or gene library, and you can use it as per your need. Let us move to the next area of biotechnology, that is biotechnology in agriculture. It is also called agri-tech or agricultural engineering. The main aspect of agriculture engineering is to produce the genetically modified varieties of crops by incorporating a foreign gene into the crop or induce the hybridization techniques. Two different varieties we can cross together and you can obtain the beneficial varieties after crossing with two different beneficial varieties. What is the main aims and objectives of genetically modified crop? The crop, whatever we are obtaining after hybridization, they are showing lot of tolerance to the stress conditions like drought, flood, heavy rainfall, like that. Pest resistance. The organism is quite showing resistance against lot of pest and pathogen. Reduced post-harvest loss. Whatever the yield the farmer is getting, all are uniform. So there is no better variety crop, best variety crop, or low quality crop. Whatever the yield the farmer is getting, all are uniform. So there is no loss after the harvest. Enhance nutritional value of the food crops. No doubt, increase yield of the crop, early and uniform maturity, so that the farmer is getting early benefit of the crop material. Wider adaptability, resistance to pathogen as well as pest. How we can achieve these plant breeding techniques into the field? We can breed them together. Two different varieties we can cross together. We can bring outside gene, outside genome, genomic material from any sources. We can ligate into the plant. Anyway, by hook or crook, we can bring the hybrid genome into the plant. It is a science as well as an art of improving the genetic makeup of the plant. As we are altering genetic makeup of the plant, definitely the plant is showing you the better expressions in the form of yield, in the form of adaptability, in the form of pest and pathogen resistance, and so on. Whatever the variety you are obtaining at the end of these plant breeding methods, they are superior to the existing parental varieties. Definitely, they are superior from the ancestral varieties also. It involves various steps like collection of plant material from your surrounding. Definitely, after collection of the plant material, you have to go for selection. We have to select the better quality plant because we have to create our next generation from that collection. That's why selection is a very crucial process during hybridization methods. Then hybridization, crossing of the two varieties, testing of the recombinants, and after that commercialization of your product. Let us focus in what way we can achieve these hybridization techniques. As we have discussed, it is nothing but crossing two different beneficial varieties together to get better than the best variety. We can achieve hybridization by two techniques, maybe by intra-specific hybridization, means we are getting the hybrid by crossing between two crossing in between two similar species of the plant material. But in intraspecific hybridization, we are using two different species of the plant. So beneficial characters from two different species we are selecting and we are obtaining the hybrid from that two species. Hybrid means superior than the parents. We can achieve this with the help of a technique called emasculation. How we can achieve emasculation? Here, suppose this is the bisexual flower. In this technique, we are removing the male part of the flower called anthers so that we can reduce the chances of self-pollination. Now, whatever the ovarian part is present, we are just closing the ovarian part till we are not getting the better quality pollen grain. We will take from the available material, we will select the better quality pollen, we will expose the ovary, and after that we will sprinkle the desired variety of pollen grain on the surface of this ovary. This is called a controlled pollination or man-made fertilization. At the end of this process, whatever the product you will get, it is whatever you desire, whatever you are craving for. One of the most important product after these hybridization techniques or genetically modified crop or transgenic crop, that is flower saver tomato. This is the genetically modified tomato in which ripening process is delayed. Here, ripening is controlled by very important enzyme called polygalactoronase, which degrade the pectin. In the presence of sufficient amount of this enzyme, normally the tomatoes are very perishable. It is very difficult to store them under a normal condition, a normal temperature. Here we are introducing a transgene into this flower saver tomato. In the presence of this transgene, it will suppress the synthesis of polygalactoronase enzyme. And because of that, the degradation of pectin delayed further. The tomato remain fresh for a longer time. Not only freshness, we can achieve the better vigor, better color, better fragrance also from this flower saver tomato. This is the most important product of transgenic crop. Next area we are moving after this, that is a pest resistant crop. It is also called BT cotton. See here, this is a cotton plant. Here they are growing into the soil, and soil contain very important bacteria called Bacillus thuringiensis. Why it is important in agriculture? Because this Bacillus thuringiensis produces a Bt toxin because it has gene into that. With the help of that gene, it produces Bt toxin, and this Bt toxin is nothing but a cry proteins. And these cry proteins are harmful for many types of Lepidopteras, bollworms, armyworms, etc., etc. So what we can do? We can isolate this cry protein gene from this Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria. We can incorporate that cry protein gene into this cotton plant, and now you will get a genetically engineered cotton plant. Whenever the Lepidopteras or armyworms, bollworms are feeding on the leaves of these cotton plants, the plant will produce intestinal protein called cry protein, and immediately this, because of this protein, these worms are nowhere else when they are feeding on these plants. So here we are reducing the use of pesticides after using these Bt cotton plant. You can compare here the cotton. This is the Bt cotton and this is the normal cotton. Normal cotton means that it is infected with these bollworms or lepidopteras. But this is the cotton in which inbuilt pesticide resistant gene is present. Next area we are approaching, plant tissue culture, which is very promising field nowadays because lot of crops, lot of fruits are available with the help of plant tissue culture. It is the technique of growing the plant tissue cells under a sterile and controlled condition, that is in the laboratory conditions. We can select any plant material in the form of cells or tissue, maybe apical meristem, roots, or leaf part. We are calling it as an explant. We should select the explant from the healthy mother plant. That's why we should have a proper mother nursery for that. We can select the explant. We can surface sterilize that one. And after providing a sufficient amount of nutrients, pH balancers, temperature, humidity, everything in the laboratory conditions, the explant will grow into the complete plant. We can grow plantlets in the laboratory conditions, and then we can just allow to grow them into the field conditions. This ability of the plant material to grow from a single cell or a single tissue into the complete plant, it is called totipotency. By taking advantage of this totipotency, we can obtain the similar variety of the crops, the plants or the fruits which are genetically similar with each other. We can call them as soma clones. We can obtain the multiple varieties of the crops within a short duration. By using apical meristem as an explant, we can generate the disease-free plant, as the apical meristem region of the plant is always disease-free. We can take the example of tissue culture banana. Here, whatever the banana you are observing here, see, we have got a better shelf life from this banana. We are optimizing the sugar content into that. Ripening phase is enlarged. It is a dotless variety. And definitely you can, it's an export variety of the crop. Many varieties of tissue culture are available, like tissue culture banana, tissue culture pomegranate, tissue culture sugarcane, tissue culture mustard. So this is a very promising technique nowadays to obtain the plant material which you want. Soma clones of the plant, ideal variety of the plant. Let us move to the next area, Parthenocarpe. It is also called seedless or virgin fruits. Having seeds into the fruits is one of the most important constraint not to have it. Having seeds in the fruit is also difficult in processing purpose also. Nowadays, lots of varieties of seedless fruits are available, like seedless papaya, seedless oranges, seedless guava, seedless watermelons. It is liked by everyone. It is easy for processing also. How we can achieve this seedless variety of fruits? We are eating the fruits means we are eating the fertilized ripened ovary of a plant. After successful pollination and fertilization, the ovary enlarges in size. Ripening takes place and it converts into a fruit. This is the natural process. In Parthenocarpe, we are skipping the two processes, that is pollination and fertilization. So getting the fruits without fertilization is the result of seedless or virgin fruits. After fertilization, there are some hormonal secretion takes place in the ovary, and because of that, ovary enlarges in size. Here, artificially, we are providing some hormones like auxin cytokinin to the ovary, and because of that, without pollination, ovary enlarges, ripening takes place, and it converts into fruits, which is seedless. And it is the most acceptable variety for the people. Let us move to the next area, that is somatic hybridization. It is also called protoplast fusion. Protoplast. When we are removing the cell wall of the plant cell, whatever the content is left, it is called protoplast. Cell wall is the most important barrier for the plant cells for recombination, because cell wall restrict to allow substances to enter inside or to leave from the cell. If we are removing the cell wall, very easily recombinant process is facilitated. So here I am showing you the protoplast of two varieties, two species also. Two different species we can fuse together. So by fusion of two protoplasts with the help of fusion inducing enzyme called polyethylene glycol, we are obtaining the characters, features of two different varieties together. And we are going to form a somatic hybrid. Why it is called somatic? Because we are skipping the process of pollination as well as fertilization, and body cells are involved in that. The best example again is pomato. Pomato is the fused product of potato and tomato. Here, these tomato, they are sharing the two characters together 50-50. Some are from potato and some are from tomato. We Reaching to the next area, that is improvement of the crop. It is called polyploidy. Let us understand some terminology before discussion. All the chromosomes in the organisms, they are existing in diploid forms, means they are in pair forms. This is called 2n. For example, potato has 48 number of chromosomes, and 48 chromosomes are existing in 24 pairs, like in the gametes, so that after fusion, haploid plus haploid, we are going to form a diploid zygote. But what is triploid and tetraploid? By giving some chemical treatment to the plants, here we are getting 3 sets of chromosomes. This is called 3 chromosomes. And by formation of this polyploidy, triploid and tetraploid are called polyploidy condition. We are improving the vigor of the plant and ultimately the products of the plants. Biotechnology in nutrition, which is also called biofortification. As we know, approximately 840 million people from the world are suffering from insufficient diet. About 8 million people from the world, they are suffering from malnutrition. Means their diet is not rich in sufficient amount of minerals, vitamins, carbs, etc., etc. And because of that, the diseases like kwashiorkor, marasmus, they are predominant. How to rectify this hidden hunger from the population? We can achieve it with the help of biofortification process. Biofortification means breeding crops with high. We can take some examples. We can improve the protein quality in the seeds. Cereal crops, which is rich in amino acid lysine. Golden rice, very popular one. It is rich in vitamin A, as mostly normal rice is rich in starch only. Here, additional features we are adding here, that is vitamin A. Wheat quality, called Atlas 66, rich in protein content. Vitamin A enriched carrots and spinach. Vitamin C enriched bitter gourd and tomato. Protein enriched beans and French beans. Oily seeds like groundnut, linseeds that contain more amount of unsaturated fatty acids, which can minimize the risk of cardiovascular diseases. Next area in nutritional biotechnology is single cell protein. Here we are using microorganisms as a source of protein. It refers to microbial biomass, which is rich in high quality proteins that produce from bacteria like Pseudomonas, algae like Spirulina, molds like Trichoderma, Rhizopus, and yeast like Candida or Saccharomyces cerevisiae. As these single cell proteins or microbial biomass are rich in proteins and poor in fats, so they are mostly used in weight loss programs. They provide a valuable proteins as a protein supplements, and they reduces the pressure on agriculture for the supply of proteins. Genetically modified crop which produces hirudine. See this animal. This is called leech. It is also called hirudinaria. It is living as an ectoparasite on the skin of animal. While feeding, it sucks the blood from the host organism continuously. While sucking, it releases an anticoagulant in the blood of the host. And because of that, while sucking continuously, there is no clots present in the blood. It has a gene present into the genome of this animal. It is responsible for anticoagulant of the blood. This is called hirudin gene. By taking this advantage, we can isolate this gene from this animal or chemically synthesize that one. We can introduce this hirudin protein gene into the plant called Brassica napus. After sufficient growth of the plant is producing seeds, and the seeds are rich in hirudin proteins. After that, we can recover hirudin protein from that seeds. After extraction, we can use this protein in the form of anticoagulant for the patients who are suffering from the blood clotting problem. It is a very promising approach for clinical research in biotechnology. As we are discussing the disciplines of biotechnology in medicine, one of very important promising technique is recombinant DNA technology in medicine. Here, let us take the example of a person who is suffering from diabetes mellitus. Means the person genome is deficient in secretion of a hormone called insulin. The genome is not coding for the hormonal secretion like insulin. So what we can do? We can take any source organism which have the sufficient secretion of insulin hormone. We can cleave that insulin gene from the patient, from the source organism. This is the gene of insulin, gene of interest. You can take E. coli cell. We can remove plasmid. We can break the plasmid. You can form the recombinant plasmid. This is your gene of insulin. You can incorporate that recombinant plasmid into the bacterial cell. Let grow the bacterial cell into the fermenter for the multiplication of the bacteria. As the bacteria will multiply, the bacteria will replicate. You can obtain the multiple copies of the insulin gene. We can extract the recombinant insulin from the fermentation broth. So here it is called genetically engineered insulin gene we can obtain with the help of recombinant DNA technology. We can store these genes into the gene bank and you can use it for the needy person. Let us move to the next area of research in biotechnology, that is monoclonal antibodies. Let us understand the present scenario. Whole world is suffering the outbreak of COVID-19. Many people died because of this outbreak. We don't have any solution because our body can't produce sufficient amount of antibodies against that one, or we don't have any vaccine against that COVID-19. Just a couple of weeks before, IIBR, Israel Institute of Biological Research, they claimed for production of vaccine against this COVID-19 in the form of monoclonal antibodies. Let us understand how we can achieve this antibodies against COVID-19. Let us take some experimental animal in the form of mice, inject into the body of mice sufficient amount of antigen. Antigens are nothing but any disease causing microorganisms. Against that antigen, the body is going to produce sufficient amount of immune response. When the antigens are administered into the body of the mice, body is producing response in the form of antibodies. Before production of antibodies, body produces plasma cells, which are the precursors of antibodies. We can recover the plasma cells from the spleen. So, remove spleen from the body of the mice, fuse that spleen cells or plasma cells from the spleen with myeloma cells, which are continuously multiplying cells like cancerous cells. After fusing plasma cells with myeloma, we are getting the fusion product of both, that is called hybridomas. We can screen these hybridomas cells with HAT medium, hypoxanthine, amaptorine, thymidine medium, so that we can select the fused cells and unfused cells. These are all fused cells. While selecting on the surface of HAT medium, this is plasma cell, this is myeloma cell. Now, this fused product we are allowed to replicate in the form of monoclonal antibodies. They will replicate in n number of times. Now, these antibodies, they are binding with the surface of this antigen. Let us take example of this antigen called corona. This is the surface of this corona, which is also called antigenic determinants. On that determinant, here the antibody of this against this virus can bind, and after binding these antibodies on the surface of these determinants, it inactivate that antigen and we can recover from the disease. So monoclonal antibodies is the most fruitful strategy to get rid of some type of fatal or lethal diseases. Next approach in biotechnological research, that is stem cell therapy. Stem cells are undifferentiated precursor cells which develops into different types of cells, tissues, organs, and various systems of body. Let us see where they are present. This is the oocyte of a human female getting fertilized with the help of sperm. After fertilization, it will go for post-fertilization changes in the form of morula, blastula, and gastrula. This is the gastrula stage. These are the trophoblast layer which form the outer covering, and this is called inner cell mass which forms the future embryo. See, this is the inner cell mass cells, and these cells have the capacity to develop, to proliferate into different cell types into the body, different organs into the body, and different systems into the body. Basically, they are undifferentiated, but they are called precursor cells as they have the capability to differentiate furthermore. With the help of these stem cell technology, we can recover from some fatal diseases, organ transplant, etc., etc. We can recover these stem cells from the umbilical cord of the newborn. We can preserve those under liquid nitrogen at minus 196 degrees centigrade. Whenever in the future, if we need any organ transplant, you can develop the organ with the help of these stem cells as they have the capability of differentiation. They can proliferate further into different organs. So they are helpful in the problem of transplantation. During transplant, the patients are facing the rejection problem. That problem we can rectify with the help of stem cell therapy. It is helpful for the siblings also, as genetic makeup of the siblings are near about same. Biotechnology in gene therapy. It is possible when the disease condition is there because of a single abnormal functioning gene. The patient has all genes are normal, but if one gene is abnormal, and because of that, the patient is facing a disease which is lethal or fatal. So that gene, that abnormal gene, we can substitute with the normal gene. How can we do that? This is helpful for many diseases which are called sickle cell anemia or it is SCID also. What is SCID? It is severe combined immunodeficiency disorder. In SCID, the patient's immune system is totally suppressed. As for activation of immune system, very role of important enzyme is there called ADA, adenosine deaminase enzyme. In the presence of this ADA, there is a maturation and proliferation of T and B lymphocytes takes place. In this SCID patient, the gene which will code for ADA is not functional. And because of that, the patient immune system is totally suppressed. The patient is suffering from opportunistic infections. Patient has to stay in isolated suites, which is not feasible lifetime. So we have a solution for that single gene deficiency disorder. How we can achieve this? ADA gene, which is lacking in the patient, we can clone with the help of Escherichia coli. This is your gene of interest. You can clone that gene. We can infect this to retrovirus. Now, the retrovirus is carrying the genome along with this ADA gene. Simultaneously, we are removing the stem cells from the patient. See, these are the stem cells which are responsible for synthesis of T and B lymphocytes. These are the cells from SCID patient. We are infecting those cells with this retrovirus. So exchange of genetic material from these retrovirus to these lymphocytes took place here, and they are exchanging the genetic part also, which will code for ADA. Here we are obtaining the recombinant cells now, which will have sufficient amount of ADA gene. Again, these stem cells we are introducing to the patient's bone marrow. Now, the stem cells will multiply along with ADA gene. If ADA is sufficient, it will responsible for maturation and proliferation of T and B lymphocytes again, and the patient is having now sufficient amount of immune response. So we can rectify the problem of immunodeficiency disorders with the help of gene therapy. Biotechnology is showing a profound effect, profound results in animal breeding. You have seen all the plants. In what way? In agriculture, in plant breeding, biotechnology is useful in order to obtain the GM variety of plants. Here again, we are coming to the animal world. In animals also, we are bringing a lot of variety of animals with the help of introducing a transgene into the animal or crossing the two different varieties of animals. See here, this is a mule, which is the hybridized product of horse and donkey. This is a very sturdy animal and we can use it for load carrying. Liger, it is the hybridized product of tiger and lion. As you know, tigers are extinct nowadays. To maintain the total number in the forest, we are using this strategy, that crossbreed of the tiger and lion. Transgenic cow is there, which is called Rosie, which is giving a protein enriched milk as compared with the conventional milk. Transgenic sheeps are available for high wool and high meat producing varieties. Transgenic mice are there to check chemical safety, drug safety of the products. We have multiple ovulation transfer technology, which is called MOET. Excuse me. In which the cows, buffaloes, and sheep, we are giving some hormonal doses. Hormone called follicle stimulating hormone we are giving to cows and buffaloes. With the help of that hormone, instead of producing 2 or 3 ovules maximum into the ovary, the cows and buffaloes are producing 8 to 10 ovules in the ovary. We are taking those ovules in vitro with the help of syringe or micropipette. We are taking it into the Petri plate, giving sufficient medium, sufficient optimum conditions for that ovules. The ovules we are fertilizing with the best quality sperms. This is called in vitro fertilization. After successful fertilization, we are allowing the blastula to grow up to certain limit. And after that, we are injecting these blastocysts or embryos into the surrogate mothers. After successful implantation, the fetus will grow into different surrogate mothers. Simultaneously, all the fetus will grow and we will recover our product when the gestation phase is over. So same quality product we will take in multiple forms with the help of MOET, very fruitful technique. Now we are entering into the another area of biotechnology, that is approach of biotechnology in industry. This is really a commercial branch by which we can improve our economy as well as nation's economy. Lot of industrial products are available by fermentation technology. In industry, we are using fermentation technique. We will start with dairy industry. Dairy industry is not possible without the bacteria called Lactobacillus bulgaricus, because this bacteria is useful for curdling of the milk. And after curdling of the milk, many products of dairy industries are available. Streptococcus faecalis is there in all type of fermented food like idli, dosa, uttappa is there. Result of fermentation. Bread is possible with the help of yeast. All types of alcoholic beverages like wine, beer, whiskey, the manufacturing of those one is possible with the help of Saccharomyces cerevisiae as well as Zymomonas mobilis. Cheese making is possible with the help of Streptococcus thermophilus. Penicillin, streptomycin, both are antibiotics. They are produced with the help of Penicillium notatum as well as Streptococcus gracius. All these products obtain with the help of fermentation. This is a fermenter, which is also called bioreactor. In this bioreactor, all the facilities like monitoring systems are available, agitation system is available, feeding pump is there, introduction of air is there, aseptic environment we can maintain into this fermenter. Temperature, pressure, humidity, pH, all are optimum in this fermenter vessel. Here we are introducing the raw material which is suitable for the organism. Into that raw material, we are supplying with sufficient amount of nutrient, pH balances, hormones, minerals, some antibiotics to maintain the aseptic conditions. All the conditions are fulfilled here, and after that we are inoculating the microorganisms into that. If the conditions are suitable, very rapidly the microorganisms are multiplying. And after sufficient growth of the microorganisms, we can recover the product from that microorganism at the end of fermentation process. This is called downstream processing. The microbial product may be in the form of enzyme, in the form of vitamin, in the form of alcohol, in the form of organic acids, or in the form of some medicines also. So in industry, it is giving a high approach for entrepreneurship also. Many products are available at the end of fermentation process. That is acetic acid we are producing with the help of yeast and Acetobacter aceti. Citric acid, gluconic acid, enzymes amylase are possible with the help of Aspergillus niger. This is Aspergillus niger. We will get it on the surface of citrus fruits. This is Penicillium notatum. We will get it on the surface of sweet fruits. Lipase enzyme we can produce with the help of Penicillium. Streptokinase enzyme which act as a clot busters we can obtain with the help of Streptococcus. Cyclosporin A, which is the immunosuppressive agent, we can produce with the help of Trichoderma fungus. And statin, it is the cholesterol control agent we can produce with the help of Meniscus fungus. Biotechnology and biofertilizers. Huge area is occupied with the help of biotechnology by working as a biofertilizers. You know, we have three types of fertilizers: synthetic fertilizer, organic fertilizer, and third one is biofertilizer. Synthetic, it is really synthetic in origin, chemical in origin. Organic fertilizer, they are based on organic material. But biofertilizers are totally based on microorganisms like Rhizobium, Azotobacter, and Cyanobacteria. Observe this image. This is the root nodule. This is the image of the root, and here are root nodules. In these root nodules, we are getting a plenty of Rhizobium bacteria, which are living in symbiotic association in root nodules of the plants. What exactly the microorganisms are doing for the plant? They are fixing atmospheric nitrogen in the form of nitrates and nitrites in the soil. And because of that, the gaseous nitrogen, which is not available for the plant, these biofertilizers are making it available in the form of liquid nitrogen so that the roots can absorb it readily, make it available for the plant for the synthesis of protein. And because of that, growth of the plant is facilitated when enough amount of proteins are present for the plant. Now we are entering to the different area of biotechnology, that is biotechnology and cellular agriculture, also called the future of food. It is also called lab grown meat or cultured meat. Thinking globally, the population is mostly non-vegetarian in outside countries. The non-vegetarian food is the staple food for abroad countries. But in order to get these non-vegetarian food, we have to go through the prolonged processes, which are we have to grow the livestock, we have to cultivate the livestock, we have to feed it, we have to breed it, we have to vaccinate those ones, we have to maintain the slaughterhouses, we have to maintain the aseptic conditions. We can't fulfill those one, and because of that, the infections, the contaminations are possible with the help of these conventional meat. How we can rectify this problem? We can obtain a totally aseptic meat from the single cell of a well cultured organism or standard organism, standard animal, we can say. We can select a single cell or a single tissue from the standard animal, grow it into the lab like tissue culture by optimizing the conditions like sufficient hormones, growth precursors, then minerals, etc., etc., maintaining temperature, pressure, humidity, etc. And we can just multiply the single cell or tissue into the compact mass of cells. This is a totally aseptic meat, and it is free from slaughterhouses, it is free from growing livestock, and last but not the least, we can reduce the risk of infection during storage and processing. That's why it is called the future of food. Biotechnology in investigation of crime. Again, we will discuss the new area of biotechnology by DNA fingerprinting or DNA profiling test. How can we reach to the criminal? See here, this is the fingerprints of a person, which cannot be same for two individual. Same way, DNA cannot be same for two different individuals. By taking advantage of this principle, we can go for investigation of crime. Fingerprints we can change with the help of surgery, but DNA we can't change forever. See here, on the surface of DNA, we have some nucleotide sequences which have the tendency of repetition. After a certain interval, these nucleotide sequences are repeated into many number of times. These repeated sequences are called VNTR, variable number tandem repeats. And these VNTR sequences are inherited from parents to offsprings. We are taking advantage of this VNTR. We can analyze the DNA from the biological material which is available from the spot of any mishap or murder, and we can correlate with the DNA of this suspect in relation to how many tandem repeats are available from the biological material which we got from the spot, and n number of suspects we can correlate the person from where we are getting a maximum match, that is your criminal. So this is the sure shot test for investigation of the criminal. With the help of these DNA profiling tests, it is useful to find out the biological father of a person. So many paternity issues also we can resolve with the help of DNA fingerprinting. Biotechnology in fuel generation. Eco-friendly fuel we can generate with the help of biotechnological processes like biogas plant. See here, this is the image of biogas plant. And here, very important organism called methanogens, which we can culture on very cheap material or waste material like cow dung, any animal dung, bird droppings, excreta, organic waste. On that very cheap material, these methanogens are growing. So here we can collect all the garbages from the city or town or village, like farm waste, kitchen waste, agricultural waste, slaughterhouse waste, hotel waste. We can collect it. It is helpful for the cleaning of the area also. It is in the form of influent. We can transport this influent to this digester tank, which we had dug just below the ground level. We are making slurry with the help of this organic waste, with the help of water. This is totally aseptic, not aseptic, this is totally, you can say, oxygen is not entered here. Anaerobic way we can digest here. After making a slurry, we can inoculate your methanogens here. As the raw material is available, methanogens will multiply at a very faster rate. While multiplying, it will produce acid and gas. They will produce the methane gas, which we can collect in this gas holder tank, which we can transport and we can store. This gas is eco-friendly gas. With the help of very cheap material, we can make it available and we can use it for cooking purpose, for lighting purpose, for a small area. The used things, we can use it in the form of effluent for fertilizer in the agriculture. Role of biotechnology in environment. We are using the microorganisms for protection of the environment. Nowadays, we are facing the problem like pollution, global warming. We have water pollution, marine pollution, soil pollution, air pollution. Pollution is because of various types of pollutants which is degrading the atmosphere. With the help of some microorganisms, they can detect the pollution which is present in the environment, and they are responsible for degrading the pollutant from the environment up to a certain extent. This process is called bioremediation. Some microorganisms are there which are responsible for plastic degradation also. We are facing a lot of problem for degradation of the plastic, and because of that government has banned the production of plastic bags also. There are some microorganisms called Pseudomonas aeruginosa which has the capacity to degrade the polymer plastic into monomer, which is miscible with the soil, which is miscible with the water up to certain extent. Microbes we are using for sewage treatment plant also in order to get a purified water in sewage treatment. So with the help of these biotechnological processes and organisms, we can achieve eco-friendly, clean and non-toxic environment. We are reaching to the next branch of biotechnology, that is bioinformatics, which is the holistic branch of combination with biology, computer, information technology, in addition to maths and statistics also, to analyze and interpret the biological information in the form of database. Biotech. Till now, it seems like a buzzword. You will hear this word from classroom to cafeteria. It is possible. We can say that we can't fathom our life without biotechnology. To the maximum extent, I would like to say we can start our day with biotechnologically designed toothpaste. We can have our milk with transgenic cow. We can have our breakfast or our lunch made by biotechnologically engineered crops or parthenocarpic fruits. We can drive our car with the help of biotechnologically manufactured fuel. We can have our outfits with biotechnologically designed cotton plant. We can breathe the fresh air, which is free from pollutants, and the pollutants are degraded by microbes. We can go to bed with the help of the pillows or cushion made up of biotechnologically designed cotton. We can keep ourselves healthy, free from diseases with the help of biotechnologically made vaccines, drugs, or chemical safety also. At the maximum extent, I would like to say, in the future, our death and birth are also determined or controlled by biotechnology. There are a lot of scopes in this subject. As a student, I would advise to choose this subject for scope in agriculture, in industry, in pharmaceuticals, in animal breeding, in fermentation industries, in vaccine industries, and food industries. And not last but not the least, it is giving you a tremendous scope in research industry. So be with biotechnology for bright future and healthy, wealthy life. Thanks.
We will start the question and answer session. First question is by Pratham Amritkar. Every living organism is a part of the food web. If BT
Yes.
cotton is cultivated, bollworms population will decrease. Won't this be a break in some food chain or some food web?
Okay, very genuine question, very logical question he's asking. He's right. If you are decreasing the population of bollworm, so there is a the population will decrease. Okay, I agree with you. But see, in the present scenario, for every crop to satisfy the increasing demand of the food, the production should get increased by many folds. That is very important. If these one of the population is going to be altered or it is not there, see, the organisms are highly adjustable. If food chain is not there, food web is available. If one of the organism is not there, they can satisfy their demand with the another type of organisms. And it is not like that all people are using these BT cotton or like it is not. So population is still there. We are not destructing 100% population of bollworms. Okay, only I think from the total population we are destructing 10% of that one by using maximum 10%. Till we are getting bollworms, till we are getting lepidopteras. Okay, so there is no harm in using those one because our priority is getting you a crop, high yield crop. That is our basic need. Okay. Thank you. Next. Can I have the next question? Hello? Hello? Can I have the next question, please? Nikhil Mantoya. Can I read the question? Yes. See, second question I got, that is, if we grow fruits without seeds, how to proceed for the next session of the cultivation? Yes, this is also a very good question. We are getting seedless fruits. We are enjoying those fruits. Yes, surely we are enjoying. But what about the next generation? How we can bring the next generation of the same crop? See, when we are growing the plants with seeds, at that time, we are not short that whatever the plant we are going to produce in the next generation, it is similar with the parent. We are not obtaining clones of the plant. But if seeds are not available, we can cultivate the plant by vegetative propagation. It is called asexual method of reproduction. Any somatic material of the plant we can take, we can cultivate it to the soil, and you will get the next generation of the plants. So if seeds are not available, we can store the seed also. If you want to grow by seeds, there is a storehouse of seeds also, and you can use some seeds. And if you want the somaclonal plant, same quality plant, you can use the method of vegetative propagation for that purpose. Okay. Next question.
Okay. So what is meant by hat medium?
It is hypoxanthine, abamectin, thymidine. This is the full form of hat media. See, hat media is useful for these monoclonal antibodies, where we are fusing these plasma cells with myeloma cells. Okay, we are taking many cells together, 100,000 cells we are taking together, 50 cells of plasma, 50 cells of myeloma. We are combining this. So we are not sure that how many cells are fused with the myeloma cells. We are not sure for that. So hat media is the screening media. The cells which are fused with these myeloma cells, those cells will grow and on hat media. Other cells will perish. Okay, so the fused product will grow and that product only multiply. And after multiplication, you will be getting these antibodies, monoclonal antibodies. So basically, hat media is the selective media for screening of these fused type of cells. Hypoxanthine, aminopterin, thymidine, HAT. Please, next question, please. Can I read the question? The next question is the concept of cell bank comes from the concept of stem cell therapy. Actually, blood banking is the process of storing precious umbilical cord blood obtained at the time of delivery for the potential use in the future. Stem cell banking offers a healthy future, not for the baby, not from that person, but it is for the entire family, the siblings also, the person having in blood relation. All are getting benefited with the help of blood bank. So same thing, it comes from the gene bank. Cell bank means we are storing the individual cells, individual genome or genes of the body. The useful genes we can store, and according to the need, we can use those genes, those cells. We can store the cell in the bank also. Sperm bank is there, ovum bank is there. Okay, so ovum we can store when you can say very functional ovums are coming out during ovulation at the particular age of the life. For example, 23rd to 28, very functional ovums are coming out. If you have a plan to conceive after 35 also, so at that time, these gonads or reproductive cells, we can store into the cell bank. And whenever you need it at that time, you can use it. So the function is like a bank only. We are saving it, you are storing it for the future. Next question, please. Next question, please. Okay, can I read? where I can know more about cellular agriculture. Oh, about this lab grown meat. Yes. So you will get better information about this Hyderabad based Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology with a goal of producing these for since 5 years they are working for that. Maharashtra government has approved a collaboration between the Institute of Chemical Technology and Good Food Institute to carry out research and development in cellular agriculture. In 2018, a Clear Meat concept, Clear Meat, a daily based startup, entered the scene with a highly ambitious goal of bringing a product into market in 18 months. So the project is still going on. Many communities are there, many industries are there. They are taking interest in cellular agriculture, but definitely it has a very bright future. Okay. Can I have the next one? Nikhil? What is meant by hat medium? Just now I told you hypoxanthine, amapterin, thymidine, hat medium. Next is, what is the criteria for choosing a surrogate mother while MOET? Yes, very genuine question. The criteria for surrogate mother, it should be disease free, first criteria. And the age limit for conceive for implantation is very important. The uterus should be healthy for implantation process. The endometrium of the uterus should be sufficiently thick so that the implantation of the baby take place. The mother should be so healthy that she can nourish the young one. Actually, the genetic makeup of the young one is different from the surrogate mother. We should match up to some extent. You can match the blood group of the fetus and the surrogate mother also. The mother should retain the baby into the uterus and she should nourish the baby. That is the role of surrogate mother, only to nourish the baby and to parturiate the baby. Nourishment, implantation, gestation, and parturition. These are the three important events. Okay, implantation means implant into the uterus. Gestation means nourish, restore it till the gestation period. And parturate means expulsion of the baby after a sufficient time of the pregnancy. That is the criteria. But the most important is disease free. Next question, please. Next is it ethical using biotech to change a genetic makeup of a fetus? Fetus means which type of fetus you are asking. It is not ethical. That's why government has made a ban to develop a genetically modified human into the society. All world government has banned to develop a human because ethical issues are there. You can't build, you can't make a genetically modified human. If everybody want 100% optimization, okay, so to just like too many cook spoil the broth. The society is running at that time when one is dominant and one is recessive. If all are getting dominant, if all humans, if you are cloning the human, okay, and if all human are getting 100% IQ, 100% IQ, can you imagine what will happen? Will they listen to each other? No way. So there is a lot of logic behind that there is ethical issues. Definitely ethical issues are there while cloning the human, but you can clone the plants very easily, you can clone the animals very easily. See, all these methods are trial and error methods. Within the first attempt, these methods are not getting successful. If you are cloning for the plants and in first attempt it is not successful, you can throw the plants, no problem. That's why in planning the successful attempts are going on in plants, but human we can't do like that. If you are planning for a human, you are cloning a human, you want to bring a genetically modified human, and if the first, second, third attempt are not successful, you can't throw the human out. That's why definitely 100% ethical issues are there. That's why human cloning has been banned nowadays. I don't know what will happen after 20 years, 50 years. We don't know. But till now, at the present scenario, it has banned. But it is open for agriculture. Up to certain extent, it is open for animals also. Very good question. Last, what key skills do industries expect from a fresh biotechnology graduate? Typical question. What the industrialist can expect from that? He should a skillful person. He should able to handle fermenters. He should able to handle the microorganisms. He should know all the aseptic techniques, all the microbiological techniques, how to make the media, how to make the equipment sterile, how to monitor the system, temperature control, pressure control, humidity control, how to operate the probes, and very important is quality standards, how to maintain the quality of the product, how to commercialize the product. These are the very important criteria just a fresh graduate should know. But anyway, practice makes you perfect. Once you know the theoretically, after practicing, you will know all those things. But attitude is very important. You should ready to learn all those things from the industry. Hello. Thanks all for your patience, for your participation. Thank you very much.
Hello. So I would like to thank Mrs. Nehal Joshi for taking out her valuable time and giving us such a important presentation. And thank you for all the participants for making this event a grand success. We are looking forward to next webinars with you. Thank you.